Hello guys, so let's do a little breakdown of what I played there. So the very first lick I used in the song was okay, so that's gotten from how you play your major seventh exercises. Miswati last of family, falabeti last of family, miswati redoti last of exactly. So I started off from the second degree, which is falabeti last of, then fa fi. Alright, it gives me that Lydian flavor. So already the music is going towards the one. Alright. So me I do last also do me where alright where so a very good way to always apply your Lydian mode. It works perfectly when you're on a rare. Alright. Reason being that it's easy to resolve a fi to a re or a la based on the intervals of thirds. So replace your si or fi as your fa, fa sol la. That's the first third. Alright. Ascending. Then if you want to go down, fa mi re. Alright. So it's very easy either to resolve it to a la or to a re. So you see how it stress a relationship with a re. And also you could see like let me give an example also a Z, a flat 6. You could resolve a flat 6, a major third above it could be Z T. Alright, Z T, because you place your Z to be your so lati. Alright, ascending, then you try to descend. You place your Z to be your so, that would be so fa mi. So it's that a Z would give you a mi, resolve to a mi swiftly, or it could be resolved to a T, not resolved to a T, but it could continue going, it could give you something Z T where you could be very creative, continue, because you cannot just end on a T. It's still sounding very unstable. So you could go Z T where continue going major thirds or third intervals, not major thirds, sorry. Third intervals till finally you find a way to resolve it to do. So you could have something like Z T where fa mi where do and it's balanced, alright. But if you're just going, you could just do descending Z mi and it sounds better because mi already is around the chord tone of the tonic chord tones, alright. So that's what I was explaining, that the fi suits very well on the re, alright, on the record. So that was how I applied that. So I did the re. Falado ti la so fa fi re, alright, fa fi re la. Fa fi re la do ti. Alright, once I reached my re, and now I was not very creative about it, and then went over to my la, that's foot descending, and then la do ti. Alright, so that was how I approached that lick, or that was the idea behind that lick. I major seventh exercise, but starting from the second, and then apply your Lydian flavor, resolve it to re, and end it with your so. Alright, then the other lick I used there was on the part of Sozila Fado. So Sozila, of course, your chromatic movement to la Sozila. Then the Fado is like saying it's like you're inverting your fa chords, alright, the chord tones of your fa, which is falado. Imagine you're using the second inversion. The second inversion, the root inversion is the fa. Second inversion is the first inversion is the la, and the second inversion is the do. So the second inversion would give you contours like do fa la, alright. But instead of playing the do fa la, I played it descending. So do fa la is la fa do. That's the idea behind that. So the la fa do, alright. Then, alright. Then the following one was. This is an E diminish. E diminish without the side button. Right? That's just an E diminish chord tones. So the reason diminish scales or diminish passing notes works very almost everywhere. Like I've really never seen an instance where it doesn't go right, because for one reason be that diminish is a very, of course, if you find a very good way to resolve it properly, diminish is a very unstable sound, right? And music, that's how music generally works, right? There has to be unstable and stable, right? If it's just stable, it sounds boring. If it's not unstable, there's a problem also, right? Imagine a pianist playing a popular piece, a popular hymn, and just playing exactly as the hymn is without adding any variation, no changes, no dynamics, no flavors, no licks. It will sound good. I mean, to sound good, but of course, if you add flavor to it, there will be a difference. If you add licks, and it will give this very exciting feel to the listeners. So that's how music is. So that's why diminished chords or diminished scales or diminished licks, all right, cannot go wrong if you find a way to resolve it well. Traditionally it functions as a passing chords or passing to tones to your main note or to your main chord. All right. So the approach there was that instead of using a C sharp diminished, because I'm actually playing on the alto C sharp, instead of using the C sharp diminished, she's already went from a so la fa do. I'm already on my do, so I didn't want to like start doing my do more fi on my C sharp, and I decided to use an E because actually a full diminished seventh scale or seventh chords is like very symmetrical. That's the mirror of each other. That's we have those three patterns. All of them are just very repetitive. So a C sharp diminished is like the same way of playing an E diminished scale. All right. So that's why I also went for an E. So instead of since I already landed or for my Sozilla Fado, I'm already on my do, so no need to actually play a do again. So instead to give me something like Sozilla Fado do. So I now went to Sozilla Fado, then went to my E and played do more fi. I didn't add the seventh, which would have given me a la. So I just played E diminished, should have the seventh, do more fi. All right, do more fi. Then afterwards, I now went to my E and then played my E minor scale. All right, E minor scale, that's playing your Ladomi. Ladomi, but then again played the Ladomi. I inverted the instead of playing Ladomi, I played a Do La Mi. Ladomi Do La Mi. All right, these are all inversions, your first and second inversions or third inversions. You should know this. So instead of playing the Ladomi, I played the Do La Mi. But then to be able to make it match with the initial diminished scale I used, the flavor I used from the E diminished the Do Morphe, I had to flatten that E minor. That instead of that mi, I flattened that mi to give me a more. So I went to Do La Mo. So it's just a creative way of making your sound balance. It would also not make any difference if you use a B. I mean, but I just prefer to make everything sound very aligned and give it a better flavor. So if you had approached using a do la mi, it will still make sense. So that's the ascending and descending. Then I continue from I now went over to my main key, which is C sharp. I played mi do so fi fa mi do. That's a popular lick we always use. So I'm sure you're very comfortable with that. So diminish and then minor and then resolve it back to C sharp playing in mi do so fa mi do. Alright, then what else did I do there? Okay, at the outro of the music, of course, so I did something like so that is obviously a B flat minor. Alright. La do mi, B flat minor, la do mi, which if you interpret it on the key of B flat, to give you a do more so. Alright, but I like interpreting it on the C sharp, which is 3 center like both. It's easier for you to say la do mi than say do more so. I mean, so that's how I interpret it. So la do mi, but I inverted it, of course. La do mi, so I started from a mi, so I started from a mi, which is B flat to be of like your so. So if you need to really understand your keys, alright, and the notes and the fingers around your keys, so you can know how to relate them with each other. All right. So you can decide to see your saw as a mi on the key of C sharp, and it helps you. However way you decide to interpret it, it helps a lot. So I started from a mi instead of a la, so it gave me a mi do la, which on B flat would be so do mo. Right. But so do mo is so complicated compared to a mi do la. All right. So alright, so obviously I went back to my T. Then the final lead there was a diminished. So that's an A diminished without the seventh. Alright, A diminished. Descending A diminished without the seventh. Alright. A diminished ascending would be a do morphe. Don't forget. Without the seventh, so do morphe. Alright. But now I played it descending, starting from 8. They gave me something like that's gave me do la fi do la fi. Then do. I went back to my C sharp and played the mommy do. So you see how your diminished scales, your diminished is almost perfect everywhere. Just know how to resolve it and be very familiar with your keys. All right, know your finger. That's why it's very advisable you practice your keys because aside from the fact that you'll be very you're going to gain dexterity, but also you have knowledge of how the keys relate to each other. All right, that is very helpful. So on your key, like on the key of C sharp now, if I'm to play my Lydian key, I know I'm going to play my G sharp. All right, that's my Lydian key. But I can also see my G sharp as my E flat because they share the same keys. All right, so if I'm probably approaching a song that is leading to the flat 5 or the sharp 4, all right, I could do something like And you could interpret that as do ti la sol, do ti la sol re do ti on the key of G sharp, and on the key of A flat, you can interpret it as fa mi re do sol fa mi. Right? So however way you wish to interpret this, whatever works for you, just know your finger charts of all your keys. So it helps you be able to decipher which key you feel would be suitable to relate this key on. Alright, so there you have it. That is the short explanation for that, for those licks I played in that video. So if you found value from watching this content, I mean, to like, follow, and share. You can also comment, so it motivates me to always do more like this. Alright, so till next time, cheers.